You know, I was in the middle of scripting, trying to get my next review ready and going. But then y'all had to tag me a bunch of times on X. Because we gotta deal with AI again. Okay, this is gonna be an interesting discussion, which I am open to talk about in the comment section down below. But we have two very different uses of AI to discuss with animation and with voice acting. And I'm just gonna cut to the gist because there's just a lot to talk about. But I'll try to summarize everything that I've seen and my basic thoughts on both topics. First of all, there is a studio in Japan called Kaka Creations. You're gonna name your studio that? It reminds me of an old video I watched years ago.
Kaka's Return. This movie's full of caca. I never realized it left.
But the team behind Kaka Creations, for the first time, are using AI assistance technology to produce anime. And the first time they ever did it was with an animated short called Twins, HinaHima. And from what I gather from this whole thing, 95% of it is produced with AI assistance. What that basically means is they are using AI technology to render everything and then using their studio artists to go in there and touch up a few things. When I was Googling around trying to look up this thing and watch the first episode, I came across a Reddit post. The first AI-based anime, Twins, HinaHima, to be aired on the 29th of March. And this one comment from the Evil Fear caught my attention, basically describing how they were using Clip Studio Paint, Adobe, and a few other softwares to produce everything. But there's a section here going over why bother using AI, to which this is all translated from the studio's website that says, while AI content is being mass-produced, we believe that the most important thing in using AI in animation production is to be sincere about quality and creativity. And our first priority was to produce AI works that meet this requirement, by being produced by staff who are usually involved in animation production. The first priority was to produce an AI work that would meet these requirements. Animation production is a labor-intensive process requiring complex and diverse processes. This characteristic leads to longer production times and an increased workload, and is a barrier to entry for young creators. To address this issue, we aim to improve the working environment for creators by utilizing AI technology as an assistive tool to streamline and save labor, thereby improving the working environment for creators and creating an environment in which they can focus on more creative activities. To be fair, I'm actually okay with that. Hear me out, because there's a fine line between exploitation and what this studio was trying to do. Because I'm pretty sure all of you have seen the Studio Ghibli ChatGPT bullshit where a bunch of people are just typing in whatever to create Studio Ghibli work. The problem with that is they are stealing someone else's artwork to produce whatever the hell they want. And it looks great, but it comes at a cost. It comes from the heart and soul of a man that has dedicated more than half of his life to animation. And even he's just pissed off about it because he is so anti-AI, it's not even funny. And it's getting to a point where just using ChatGPT for those purposes may actually be illegal. I don't know if that's true or not. There's talks of it, of like maybe taking them to court over what they can do, what they can't do. Because when you get right down to it, ChatGPT is using other people's art styles to copy their style. And thus the AI bros go in, type in whatever, and boom, instant artwork, just like that. No effort, just typing in, pressing enter, and that's it. To which, I'm against that. There's no heart and soul into it. You're stealing someone else's art style. Just do what PewDiePie did. Do what I do. Just practice. I barely have time to practice, but I try to. And you can see that my artwork is like 50-50 every once in a while. But it doesn't hurt just to pick up a pencil and just try. Just trace it at first, then try to sketch by looking at it, and then see if you can do it by memory. But even then, a lot of artists don't do it by memory. They do it by using a reference. This, on the other hand, sounds like, with studios in Japan, let's be real, there's a lot of streaming services and corporations that pay the bare minimum for Japanese animation studios to make animation. With technology like this, they could decrease the workload that they have to endure weekly. Because the thing with Japan, they are so dedicated to their work that it exhausts them to the point of death. They die by exhaustion a lot more, even though they are living in one of the most progressive, technologically advanced societies compared to most other nations. Like, it was heaven when I went there. It was amazing just how they live their lives, how they sell things and produce things to make everyday living more convenient. And so that's why I think that was the heart of this process. Using AI to make their jobs more convenient. With all the projects they have to do, what they're paid to do, and how labor-intensive animation really is. Just look up the history of animation, you'll know. But with how Japan keeps improving their lifestyles to be as stress-free and convenient as possible, I don't blame Kaka Creations to produce something like this. And I watched the animated short. It's not bad. They use their own art style. From what I can gather, they sketched the scenes first using AI to finalize everything. They still animated the girls. I think the dancing scenes were rotoscoping 3D animation with AI rotoscoping on top to make it look 2D, but you can tell it is 3D. But it's better than the Love Live 3D monstrosities back in those days. Nightmare fuel. They're just Barbie dolls staring off into the distance as they're dancing. Whoa. And even here it says, with the twins' HinaHima animation project as a starting point, we hope to contribute to solving the problems faced by the animation industry, solving the shortage of producers, improving the working environment by increasing productivity, and improving the treatment of creators. With a sense of crisis that animation is in danger of disappearing due to a growing shortage of talent, we are convinced that the future of animation production can be made brighter and more sustainable through the use of AI technology. I do believe with Kaka Creations having in mind the convenience of the staff to use this technology to help them live a more comfortable life. It's one thing. I'm still 50-50 because it's like, animation isn't easy. You gotta put your heart and soul into it. But literally, these studios are being exploited by all sorts of streaming services. I mean, I don't mind if they use that kind of technology just to shove it up Netflix's butt and be all like, here's your anime. I don't mind that. Like, they can keep the good stuff for themselves, give Netflix the shit. But I can see where Kaka Creations is coming from. Because with every project they have to do, and the barely minimal amount of money that they give back to all of their employees, it's no wonder there's a decrease in producers and talent, because who wants to give out 150% of their body and soul into something that's not going to give them anything in return other than the satisfaction of their artwork, which is all fine and dandy, but it's not going to put food on your plate. It's a tricky situation. It is a very difficult, sensitive topic. I don't mind it if AI is used for assistance, if it's used to tackle jobs that are pretty redundant, tiresome, and just, if you mess up, then you're just like, you gotta restart all over again, but maybe AI can help with that. And it seems with what I've seen from behind the scenes, they use AI to produce a good chunk of things, but they have their artists go in to touch up a few things. So they still care about the quality. And from what I saw with the overall product, it still seemed a bit uncanny valley, but it's not the worst I've ever seen. Remember X-Arms? Can we forget X-Arms? But at the same time, I kind of liked the short because it was making a statement about augmented reality because you see these girls just trying to be TikTok stars, as you do, and somehow they ended up in this augmented, distorted, AI-produced reality. It kind of reminded me of those days, we all did it, where there was like a beta AI website where you typed in whatever and it produced something. It wasn't good, and every result looked like melted popsicles, but it was fascinating to see what the computer could produce. And now they're fine-tuning it to the point where they're producing artwork in a snap, but it's stealing other people's work. In this case, it seems like it's their own style, it's their own technology. And if they want to use it to have a much more healthy environment and encouraging other studios, hey, if you're struggling and the health of your employees are at stake, use this. It will help you. I'm all for it. Condemn me if you shall. I just feel immensely bad for the animators. I don't think it's going to cost them their jobs. I really don't. And if anything, it's going to teach them how to use these softwares so that they can use it alongside their artwork. It's just fine-tuning. It's just coexisting with their talent, what they were trained to do, but also training. It's like with technology, even nowadays. Like back, I used to do like 3D animation back in like probably Photoshop 6 or something, and Cinema 4D, the thing that made the Barnyard movie series. Remember that? Or the Open Season. I think Open Season was made with Cinema 4D. And Monster House. Monster House was made with Cinema 4D. That's what I was trained on. Y'all kids are using like Maya and Blender and all that stuff. Times change. And even then, like, jobs in animation always change every once in a while. Like back at the beginning, it was the Ink and Paint Club where the animators would sketch out the drawings. The Ink and Paint Club would just fine-tune the line art on these little sheets and like paint the backs and then flip it over, and there's your final product, and they take a photo of that, and then just there's your animation. Then when that became very time consuming, they found a quicker way to like cut they shaved a little bit of time off by hand sketching. You can see that transition with Disney animation from the line arts that looks all smooth and crisp and clean to the rough sketches of 101 Dalmatians, Robin Hood, Sword in the Stone. You can tell that transition. That sketchy look saved the animators a bunch of time, even though it looked rough. But then came back the CRISPR era where computers became a thing, and the first time they ever used it was in the movie The Great Mouse Detective, where the Big Ben scene was 3D animation. To which then when it came to cell shading, instead of using the rough sketches and the Ink and Paint Club, they used computers. And the first movie, I believe, to use that kind of technology was The Rescuers Down Under. And you could tell, like, with the first movie and the second film, but they started using that software, and you could tell with the quality, because it was so much easier to do line art and coloring with computers. And then 3D animation became a thing, and the rest was history. AI is here. Corporations are going to exploit the hell out of it. If it means they can save money and time, they're going to do it. And it's all going to be overwhelming because they're going to be producing things left and right, up and down, which can create jobs, but now there's going to be like a billion releases of anime or cartoons and be like, what do we watch? What do we do? Oh, they're just going to have like a catalog of like shows and movies and be like, okay, this one's next because they just produced that thing in like a month. That's what I'm mostly afraid of, is corporations exploiting it. But when it comes to Japan, they're being exploited by outside sources. This is just something they can use to lighten the workload while also working on other things. It's like I said, just make some AI schlop and give it to Netflix while you're creating your Madoka Magicas and your Cowboy Bebops. Create your artwork the way you want. Give the shitty stuff over to Netflix. That's my 2 cents. But I do want to know what you guys think. Are you okay with AI assistants just making the jobs of animators a lot easier? Let me know in your comments down below. But now onto the polar opposite.
Oh no! So hard. I lost again.
Take the punishment. Your turn to answer the question. Shanyao, the truth card you chose is to say the name of the person you like.
Help me. I will never be okay with AI voice acting. The only time I will ever approve of AI voices for anything is for reading documents. Like, say, if you're studying a language and you're not 100% there, yes, or you're using it to, like, try to read the document or translate it for you, that's one thing. If you're having a hard time reading, if you have, like, dyslexia, you can use AI technology to read the articles for you. That's where I draw the line. And they're still there, like 50-50. Like there was like a mod in World of Warcraft in classic mode where they didn't have voice acting, so there was someone that made a mod that where you install it, AI technology is used to read the scriptures. Like, it's still borrowing someone else's voice. It's an interesting idea, but I'm not for it because that's someone else's voice that they're using, so 50-50 on that one, mod, I'm just saying. This, however, no. I don't know what's going on here. There is a Chinese website called IQIYI. Do not ask me to pronounce that, please. I have such a terrible time pronouncing anything, you know me. They have a streaming service where they release their own content. There is a Chinese anime called SuperCube. Did you make that with AI too? The title itself. SuperCube. SuperCube. Ow. But if you go to their website, you will notice that they have it in their original language with all sorts of subtitles to help you, understand the episode. But they also have a feature, AI English version. Just have a listen.
We don't have a choice now.
No! You're the one with no choice!
The pervert who keeps pestering you is right there.
小修,
Don't get involved in this. This is between us.
小修, your arm is bleeding. Let me see. No need. Let me see.
I swear you'll pay dearly for that.
I honestly want to use that as a Twitch sound alert because it is so bad but so hilarious. I kept chuckling at how bad it sounds. It's so bad.
Oh no. So hard. I lost again.
Take the punishment. Your turn to answer the question. Shanyao, the truth card you chose is to say the name of the person you like. Why are you so worked up, Xiaoxiu? Don't tell me you think Shanyao likes you.
It's so bad. It sounds like Chinese VAs putting their voices to the technology. You could definitely tell with how they pronounce some of the names that the dialect is there. And you could slowly hear it transitioning from the rough Chinese take to somewhat English sounding, somewhat American. But there's just no depth, no heart. It is just a computer reading lines. It's so bad. And it makes me wonder what pushed for this. What pushed this studio in particular to not rely on English actors? My theory, correct me if I'm wrong, their reaction to the whole Genshin Impact strike with the voice actors pushing for unionizations and just how aggressive one particular actress has been. The reaction from the Japanese and the Chinese community are outright demanding for these actors to be replaced or just not have English dubbing at all. So this could be just a reaction from major studios that are just, it's their opinion, they're tired of the discourse that is happening with voice actors in Western countries and whatnot. That's one theory. It could be maybe they're just trying to use technology to just release the anime out into the public as quickly as possible, and every multiple language, just press a button, boom, done. They don't have to wait for actors to be hired and the pay that the actors are getting and the time that it takes to dub and slip it in to try to match with the lip sync and the audio quality. They don't have to wait for that when they use AI technology, just like that. No. Because as you can tell with how badly that was, it's not there yet, and even if it was there, I on principle, I can't support it. Like, I'm iffy about James Earl Jones giving his voice to AI. Because he knew his time was up, he couldn't do the voice anymore, and he was nearing death. Rest in peace, James Earl Jones. But he made the decision to lend his voice to AI. So that when they have more episodes in the future with Star Wars with Darth Vader, they can use AI to dub over the actor that they have. To which I get it, but at the same time, that's only going to make things more difficult in the voice acting world, because now they may not even be voice actors. They're just going to get samples of everyone's voices and fine-tune AI to replace actors. It's such a scary reality, but it is what it is to these corporations. I do believe people are going to talk with their wallets, and that's why we're seeing such a negative responses to Twins, HinaHima, and SuperCube, because they're using AI they're using AI for their production. To which with Kaka Creations, they're using the technology to lighten the load for their employees. SuperCube, on the other hand, they're just using AI to dub and not rely on English actors. One's making life easier for the production crew. The other one is stealing jobs away from potential actors. And again, I just don't know if it's because of the growing discourse Easterners have against Western actors, if it's because this production just doesn't want to wait for actors to be hired and just use technology. Oh, this program allows us to use English translations without having to hire actors. Let's just go. It's so much quicker. I'm more towards the latter, but I can see the former being a possible reason as well. But I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you, what do you think of SuperCube AI English dub? How cringy as fuck is it? Goddamn. Bottom line, I've been repeating myself, but I just want to make it loud and clear. I understand Studio Kaka's approach to AI, and I'm kind of okay with it. I'm really not okay with AI voice acting, especially when I have a bunch of friends in the industry that would love any kind of work. It's fun for them, it expands their portfolios, and they're just acting their hearts out, and I'm very proud of all of them. And corporations, when they realize that eventually there's going to be a software that can perfectly replicate the human speech to the point where we won't need actors anymore, it's honestly scary. It literally doesn't help when we have AI bros just shoving themselves into the conversations, being like, y'all are replaceable, we don't need privileged assets like you, and we can just produce whatever we want at a snap. The future is now, you betas are gonna be jobless soon, just you wait and see. Like, shut the fuck up. You're not impressing anybody. I'll never understand it. Like, if you're pro AI, that's one thing, but don't be a giant dick about it, teasing that a bunch of people who are more talented than you are going to lose their jobs. Were you just upset that they wouldn't produce your fetishy artwork for $1? Because you really gotta pay for people's times, and that's why you're excited to have AI so you can just produce whatever fucked up thing you want at such a simple click? I'm okay, guys. I'm okay. I love you. I'm okay. This is Robin being aggressive right here. Hi. I'll never understand AI bros. There's pro AI enthusiasts, and then there's AI bros. But again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Coming up next will be my review of the Netflix adaptation of Devil May Cry, so stick around for that. And as always, thank you all so much for your amazing support and generosity. I see that my latest review of Gushing Over Magical Girls was pretty successful. It's been one of my more successful videos. I really appreciate that. But now I've come to the realization that you guys just want me to watch trash. And I'm here for it! Give me the trash. I want some trash. Robert wants trash to watch. See? I got a trash bin right here. Gimme. Give me the trash. But as always, thank you so much for your amazing support and generosity. More awesome videos will be on the way, so stay tuned, Anime America.